On it, man.
Are we on? Are we on the air? It's
We
on.
out. We out.
Yo, line up those sword strikes to Sasuke's face with the beat.
Yeah, absolutely. What it do? What it do? What it do? What it do? What it do?
We
What's
back
up?
with another one.
What's up? Let's
Another
go.
versus. What's this?
Hey,
Episode 2 of the verses.
episode 2. It's episode
Y'all hear
2.
the
We
music. Y'all
ended
know what
it.
time it is.
Y'all already know. Y'all know. Y'all hear this?
Come
Hear
in.
that bass? Hear that guitar? Hear that guitar? Y'all know what time it is? Y'all know what time it is? I'm gonna tell you what time it's not. It's not 6 o'clock. We ain't on BST. We ain't on no CBT. We here. We here. She
And we live.
live. It's a mug. Real live, cuz.
Right. So we back with another one, episode 2 of the verses. As y'all saw the promotions and the fight cards, this one is Zoro and Killer B. So we just gonna start off with some stats like we did last time, and then we gonna get right into it. We got Natty JEI over here representing for Killer B, and I'm representing Zoro. The rapping ninja versus the green hair Pirate Hunter Beast. So we're gonna get right into it. So we got Zoro, who's standing at what? 5'11",
5'2",
187. He's 21 years old. The weapons he carries like 3 katanas, and his abilities is master swordsman, hockey, and hand-to-hand combat.
All right. We got my man's Killer B standing at 6'2", a solid 1'9" tray. Man's about 36, nice, he in his prime or whatever. Man, he wields quite a few swords, but mainly he wields 8 katanas, and he is a master swordsman, master of the lightning release and disturbance taijutsu.
Yeah, so that just entails like wrestling and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's pretty much what that is, just in case y'all wanted a little bit more explanation on that disturbance taijutsu. So yeah, I mean, this matchup right here, you got 3 swords versus 8 swords. When we initially came up with it, we thought it would be a great fight, considering the obvious of the katanas and how many they're wielding. So based off of that, I'd say we get right into it, man. I think Zoro taking this fight, considering the battle conditions and B not being able to go to Bijou mode, I think Zoro can take this fight. And I say this because Zoro, if you notice, in all his fights, well, not all of them, but majority of his fights, he has fought people who have grand attacks. The scales of the attacks are big. From Pika to old boy from Fishman Island. I forgot his name.
Yogu.
That was his name. The octopus.
I think it's like Goku.
He fought one with a hook sword, and then he fought the octopus guy.
No, the octopus dude was Goku. He was the main dude. He was the main swordsman from that.
Yeah, he was the main one after him, because the first one that he fought was quote unquote number 2 swordsman of Fisherman Island, and then he came next. But even to that, I get into the Ryoma fight later, but just those fights alone were grand scale fights as far as whether it was them attacking with grand attacks or him attacking with grand attacks. Wano, when he fought the regular samurai, when they was trying to find out who the slasher was, that dragon breath move that he used, the scale of that move is huge. The trifold world, I think that's what it was called, trifold world. It was like
the one he used against Pika?
Yeah, it was like 3 billion trifold worlds or whatever. He used that against Pika and like cut him in like half, and then he cut him in another half and basically had 4 pieces and just kept going. So it's like we can see, I guess, the magnitude of his strength in his attacks. So such grand scales of that, and then you're just gonna be fighting someone that's 6'2" and 193 pounds. Like, come on. And he's not being able to go to Bijou form, bruh. He's cutting that man down. 8 swords or nah, like he's cutting him down. And Zoro, he's a master swordsman. So I wouldn't put it past him that he can adapt, or if not, can use more than 3 swords if he wanted to. He may not be able to use it to the best of his abilities, but I'm pretty sure he can, because he's just good with swords naturally. Whether it's a short sword, a long sword, whatever, he's just good with swords. So you have that. You have him being able to, I guess, what you want to call that, like a body modification when he do his gorilla technique, the one gorilla when he pump up his muscles.
I don't know if I call it body modification, but it's definitely I would say
it's like a power.
I would say like strength isolation. I definitely say that.
So there's that. So that's giving him more strength. Now when he fought Hawkins, that was another grand fight.
That fight
big ass sword. Big ass sword he had to fight against. Big scale moves. Like every time they show Zoro and display Zoro, they always find a way to display his strength on a grand scale. So that's the, attest to his strength and where it's at. I think there's a scale like on the Wikipedia version of like the anime shows where they have different class of attacks. I'm not sure what's like the highest and what's the lowest, but I'm pretty sure his is up there. I'm gonna look into
what
it.
What it do, CJ? Well, what up, Jordan? Let me shout out to people real quick while they here, man. What up, Hypnose? What up, CJ? What up? What up? What's popping?
Was that old boy that was supposed to be at 559?
Yeah, talking all that.
yeah. But yeah, that's just to attest to his strength alone. And I'll just leave it at that. I'll let you, combat that, and then I'll get into the fights later. Like we'll do this piece by piece. It ain't no need for me to jump into everything right now. We just have this back and forth debate.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna say B got this match. Like regardless of not having the ability to use Bijou mode, the fact that he is the perfect vessel for the Bijou says enough. His chakra reserves are already massive enough to be able to handle that strain. The fact that we can take it back. We don't even have to take it to like President Naruto. We can take it back to his older fights when he and B or when he and A, the Hidden Cloud Raikage, when they first teamed up, it was already stated that B was going on missions solo when he should have been going with A.
Right.
He was handling those missions by himself as a child. And it was said that, his talent already surpasses A's at that age. And so we saw that even moving forward in time. What was it? The Third Great Ninja War, when the Hidden Cloud Village encountered the Hidden Leaf Shinobi and Minato encountered A and B during that scuffle, and B was able to handle his own against Minato, who was a Hokage candidate, who's a master in sealing jutsu, and obviously his trademark speed and teleportation is also something that he was able to balance and overcome. Well, not necessarily overcome, but match to a T. They had each other at the neck with their blades, and so he was able to match that as well.
His Bijou. Let's not act like that tentacle didn't come out.
But it did come out, but it wasn't something that he used as a crutch. That was just something he used as a diversion, because we see it wasn't something that he even like staggered on for real. It was just something that was used like simple as a kunai or something like that. So it wasn't something that he was crutching on or anything. But also B's intelligence when it comes to his battles and his fights. We've seen it with Kisame. He was able to decipher how he was going to be able to approach Kisame when they were in the water, and how he was able to use just his defensive mechanisms and evade them, just because he knew that even as like given, I guess, like his shape that his Bijou goes into as an octopus, he understood that, all right, this ain't going to be it. Like, even I'm at a disadvantage, so I still had to adapt using my own wit. And so also got to get into that lightning release that he has, the ability to supercharge whatever he needs to, including his own weapons and his body within fights. We saw when he fought Sasuke and Taka, before he even decided to tap into Biju mode, he was dominating everybody on that battlefield just using his own ability. We saw him like easily being able to maneuver using 8 swords, combated with Sasuke's Mangekyo Sharingan at the time, fresh Mangekyo Sharingan at the time, and Sasuke was barely able to keep up with him. Yeah, I mean, I don't think Zoro got it on B, and
Well,
also like, hold on, let me add one more thing. Zoro has these large scale attacks and he's fought in incredibly difficult opponents, but one of his most notable fights, his first major fight against Mihawk stated himself that, you know, you have incredible destructive ability, but if that's all you have as a swordsman, then you're falling short. What Zoro has been shown to lack in his fighting is technique and that prowess, that actual that level of swordsmanship that requires less effort, less grandiose fighting, less wide moves. He hasn't really tapped into that technique aspect of swordsmanship yet. And I think that's something that B has had for years. He has a tremendous amount of experience with that, coupled along with his destructive capabilities. And I think that would definitely put him above Zoro in this battle.
I can see that technique will play a part because that can easily tire him out, because technique helps you to, you know, reserve stamina and power if it's done correctly. If you're sloppy with your techniques, that can easily tire you out. So yeah, I can see that being a thing against them. But let's not forget, because you brought up that Kasami and B fight. Let's not forget with Eight Tails told him, if it wasn't for me, Kasami would have been washed by now. He would have got washed without him. So I wouldn't even put that fight into your argument. That right there just gets defeated, because that was stated. That was facts. And I know that to be, and it's crazy that you brought that up, because I literally just watched that fight like before we got on here. And that was when he was trying to save old boy, his master that was with him with the big raccoon, whatever. And he was like, yeah, if it wasn't for me, Kasami would have been washed. So you can't even
handle a handicap.
You can't handle Kasami without your Bijou. That's to show how much he relies on that Bijou form. Like most of his fights, for real, if you watch, he's been using that joint a lot. And you got to think, yeah, you may say, oh, he's not using it to necessarily fight or whatever, but when he uses it, that's him tapping into another reserve of chakra. So that's kind of like a cheat or advantage, if you want to say, for him, because he doesn't even have to tap into his regular chakra and get tired out. He can be using the chakra of his Eight Tails, so he can save all his chakra. So that's why I'm saying that is very vital and important to him when he fights. So if he doesn't have that, what does B really have when he's just base form? Now you can combat that and say, all right, well, he's proven that base form when he fought against Taka, which in that's undisputable. Like he showed out, he did his thing. Like he was watching the things, like 3 of them too. Sasuke had a fresh Mangekyo, like you said. So he's still learning how to use it, the abilities of it and everything. I think if he would have fought a Sasuke that has been with that Mangekyo for a while, it would have been a whole different fight. He would have had to go on the Bijou way quicker and get that done. What's his name? Sugetsu? Let's be honest. Sugetsu, he's efficient because of his natural abilities and what he is and what he does. But let's be honest, like he ain't really wrecking. He don't really hold no weight like that.
I mean, he's one of the 7 ninja swordsmen, man. You can't deny that.
He got the title because he got a sword. Because he got the sword.
All of them got the sword.
To be honest with you, I felt like Zabuza wielded that joint way better than him.
Well, Zabuza had it for longer. Right. But we gotta remember that blade all the blades take a toll on the user, and
I'm him being able to use it. Like, but that blade strengthens itself by every time it cuts, because that's the joint that absorbs the iron out of the blood and it strengthens it. So like with him not being that experienced, that now speaks to the fact of B fighting fighters that weren't at their top potential. So it's easy for him to go smack at them and watch them, considering he's been fighting from young, like you mentioned earlier, with him being, you know, a young pup and holding a candle to A and being able to keep up with him and surpass them at that age. He's a young prodigy. Yes, you have Sasuke as a young prodigy, but look at the age difference. He's 36. Sasuke's probably like, give or take.
He was like 16 18. At that time, yeah.
And he was 16 at that time, right? So it's just like you have that years of experience that you still have to have. You can be a genius, but if you haven't actually been out in the field and getting that experience, you're still not going to be all the way up to par. You'll be able to keep up and may not die, but when it comes to getting on the offense and inflicting damage to B, he's not going to be able to do much of that because he doesn't have that experience. And I'm pretty sure B has fought his share amount of Sharingan users from the time that he was young to where he is now. So that's that. Now Zoro, when he fought Ryuma, I felt like he displayed good technique. He's not quite there.
Yeah, but it was improved. I definitely say it was improved.
Yes, you see the potential of him being able to do it. He's still young too at that. So you have that advantage. He has the youth. So he'll be able to keep up. He'll have the stamina. Now, let's talk about his willpower and his endurance to be able to take damage. If you're dishing out damage after damage and you don't have that bijou or that reserve chakra to tap into, you're going to get tired out. And we have seen Zoro being able to take damage. We saw when he fought my man's Bartholomew. Kuma. Yeah. When he fought him and he had to take all Luffy's pain, and it was in that big old paw joint.
Yeah.
And he took that and he was just standing straight up, all bloody. Sanji came like, yo, what happened? Where these niggas at? Why you all bloody? He's like, I'm good. Nice. Like, and he just sat there and took all that pain. So we see that he has a high threshold for pain. So what's B gonna do with that when he keep on smacking this nigga around? He just taking all that damage, and then it's like he's tired out, and then now now Zoro goes on the offense and starts striking back with moves like he's done the Pika. That's what I'm saying, bro. Like
I understand the endurance, but all right, what you said, you brought up B having to like tap into that Hashibi chakra, like that Bijou chakra. Mm-hmm. Like we gotta remember, like after he fought Kisame, he gained a new sword. He gained a new sword that had the ability to take in life force from other people that he was fighting. And
but so he don't have that sword now.
He doesn't have it right now just because Kisame is dead. But with the ability to use that sword, like that definitely balances
we
that
say
out.
All that. We say all that.
I mean, we talking about factors. We talking about what they have.
Variables. My man only got 8 katanas.
We talking about variables, man. We talking about being a master swordsman. We're talking about being a master swordsman. We got to take into account the swords that they've mastered. So with him being able to like master Samehada, he's able to, handle his own, not only just like cut you up and tear you up with that sword, but also like drain you of your life energy. So all that endurance like that Zoro's going to have is going to be capped once it gets to that point and they're fighting that way. Like he'll be durable, but that's only going to last but for so long. His durability is going to rely on how much he can take, how much energy he has to give. And if he doesn't have too much of that, then that coin's going to be flipped a bit.
We still don't know what that eye do though.
We don't.
And we have seen Zoro have 9 swords, not 8, but 9.
Using Asura, yeah.
So. What he gonna do with that? He got 1 extra sword.
Hey man, look, it's still something that can be handled with ease, man. That lightning release ain't no joke.
I don't know, man. I see Zoro taking that. That's a tough one. That's definitely a tough one. I know how on the outside it could look like it could be one-sided for either fighter, whoever you choose to go for. But it's definitely another tough one, especially with B having that cap. Now, if you didn't have that cap, it's obvious who's taking that. But with that cap, there's so many other things to think about. And to be honest, the difficult thing about this matchup is the amount of fights that they've had that was showcased within each show. It hasn't been much for each one, to be honest. Each one of them had at least, I can probably count on
at least major fights at least.
But even to the little ones, like all of them together, like I feel like I can count on my hands for both of them. The fights that they've had, they haven't had much fights, especially B. I felt like he could have had more. Zoro, One Piece is still ongoing.
Yeah, Zoro, as far as like up to date, Zoro's definitely had more fights than B.
Fights, yeah. But but major fights, nah.
But major fights, nah.
The fights he's had was with like little peons, like little civilian type people. Yeah. Not really civilians, but compared to like pirates
or grunts and shit. Yeah.
So it's like, but actual like people who have like character development, and in One Piece, it hasn't been too many fights. And I don't know if that was actually his move that did that, or if that has something to do with Ryuma. They didn't really explain that, but when he did that dragon breath move with the one sword style, Ryuma did catch on fire, that blue flame.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that was from his move or if that has something to do with Ryuma being dead and like his spirit. But I felt like it was
I think it's a bit of both. I think it was a bit of both.
So it was just like you have that too. Like, I don't know, there's a lot of powers within Zoro to be explained still. It's premature, but as of right now, what we have and what we know, I don't know. I think Zoro can take it. I think Zoro can take that dub.
I think it could go either way. I think when it comes to the fight, I think that it can go either way. In terms of B's favor, I think the technique like puts him on another level.
If y'all got B, drop the octopus. If y'all got Zoro, drop some swords.
Hey, yeah, facts. Repeat that. Run that back. Pull up.
Right. Select that. No, I was saying, if y'all got B, go ahead and drop the octopus emojis. If y'all got Zoro, drop some swords in there.
All right. If y'all ain't hear him, well, that's too damn bad.
But you were saying.
But yeah, I think in the favor of B, it would definitely lean on his technique, his variety of moves.
B's technique.
Yeah,
B's lack of technique.
B's technique and experience, because I feel like because I understand like Zoro can adapt to fights. We've seen it happen, but I think that
he's dumb in real life, but like in fighting, he's a genius.
Yeah, he can definitely adapt, but I think like technique coupled with the experience and like the types of people that B's fought, like the range is completely different with each fight. Like he's fought people from Kisame to Minato to his brother. He's fought so many different people. Like,
but let's be honest. You talk about range. Who had a better water fight though? Under the water fight, who handled themselves better? Because they both did. Now that I'm thinking about it,
they did.
Who handled themselves better though? Underwater.
Zoro, but
you can't count in the Bijou mode. Remember,
I know. Zoro, but B would last longer underwater.
Because he's octopus.
He would last longer underwater without Bijou mode.
But naturally, he's adapted an octopus like body,
right?
So we can't take that away, even if he's not using Bijou mode, because he can spit ink out his mouth. Yeah.
So that would be a battle, and plus, B also has the endurance to be able to like use that any lightning release attack in the water and still be coming out of it. So I think that would come down to a battle of endurance, for real. In terms of being underwater. But I think I can see Zoro, like I can see Zoro taking it as well. Like I said, he's able to adapt, and his destructive power is like on another level. And like you couple that with hockey, I could see him winning. I could see him winning.
When you talking about cutting diamond and all that, like,
yeah,
what is flesh and bones gonna do?
But that's the thing. What I say about like he would have to catch B like slipping with that because lightning release can cut through anything as well.
But he's quick. We saw what he did in Wano. We saw how Luffy reacted. Luffy was like, "Yo, that was quick." He cut my man's Hawkins' face in half.
Yeah,
with that slash. Like his attacks have range too. He don't have to be up on you. He can throw sword slashes at you.
It's true. It's true. It's true.
He got the dragon twister, the dragon breath. Like he got all these moves, bro. Like, and these be some big scale moves.
It's true. It's true. It's true, man.
That man got moved. What's that joint where he put the swords back in his sheath just to do a move?
Oh, the Shishi Sansan joint.
Yeah, like bro,
yeah.
like
that joint goes.
Tough girl, bro.
That joint
like,
goes.
And I think I believe Mihawk has taught him technique during that 2-year skip, but I just don't think Zoro has had the opportunity to display that yet. Because if Mihawk told him when they first fought that, oh, you have all this destructive power, but you don't have technique, then you know what kind of swordsman would you be? I would think that Mihawk would teach him something when he was there training with him, and not just more destructive power. So I think we just have to wait for that fight for that to be displayed. And I think Wano is the perfect place where it will be displayed because you got to fight, you know, the samurais or whatever the case may be. So we're going to see if that technique is there. As of right now, where it stands, for the sake of the verses, his technique is lacking. Compared to B.
Yeah, compared to B at least, it's lacking. But and on top of that, like Zoro does have the side of youth on him, so that can make.
That's what I said. Yeah, I said that.
Well,
the stamina, him being able to, you know, last in the fight or whatever, and just probably more mobility and flexibility possibly. But that's neither here nor there in the anime world. But I think it could play a part.
Yeah. I can see it. But shit, I'm taking for B though, man. I'm giving B the
for Zoro. Let's see what the people think.
What y'all think?
Y'all drop y'all comments. Y'all, you know,
say something.
Then we have announcements for the people.
Oh yeah, we did. So last week we asked y'all for, you know, who y'all would like to see in your matchups, and we got a couple people responded, and some interesting matchups for real. But we just want to give everybody an opportunity to be able to give us a good response and offer their own suggestions in a little more formatted format. If they haven't seen the live, we want to give them the opportunity to be able to, you know, respond to what we have suggested. So after this joint is done and posted up, we're gonna drop a little link for y'all. That joint's gonna be in our IG bio, and it's just gonna be a little form asking you know, who you want to see. Please follow all the instructions that you read.
A little survey, like after you get off a phone call.
yeah. You know, just tell us your thoughts. And, you know, again, please follow all the instructions. Otherwise, your matchup that you submit will not be valid. So, yeah. I think that was it, right?
Yeah, that was it for that. Yeah, and then I guess once they do that and we see everything polling in, we'll go ahead and, I guess, talk further into, you know, what can happen once those matchups are in, and we'll get into that. I guess it's a little late. Let's just see what happens, see if we can get some of these matchups in and make it happen. I mean, this is for y'all, like, because we got matchups that we can use. It's not like we're running out of, you know, matchups or ideas. We're just trying to get y'all to be a part of this, make it more fun, make it more interesting. And yeah, just put your matchups in there. Let's see what y'all come up with.
Cool. And until next
all
time,
I got for my argument.
Yeah, man, y'all gonna we gonna drop a poll in the joint. We're gonna drop a poll for y'all, see how y'all feel. But I've made my stance clear.
I'm same here. So rock with your boy. Rock with your boy.
Hey man, you gotta vote black. You gotta vote black.
Don't try to do that. I was thinking that same thing too. I'm like, man, we're gonna go for the black man.
Shit,
and he be rapping too.
Facts, bars.
He got bars.
Shit.
But yeah, man, thank y'all for your time, man. shedTAKU boys with another one. We'll be back next week, 6 p.m. same time, same day. And we're gonna have the next matchup for y'all, man. Like I said, get those matchups in there. Let us know what y'all think so we can get one of y'all's up in here, and we'll shout out the winner of that matchup, on that same live when we do your matchup. So yeah, get yours in there.
Yeah, and if your matchup gets chosen, we might have a little something for you. You never know. So, you know what I mean? Go ahead and do that.
All right. Well, it's always good having these debates and discussions. We get to exercise our little anime muscles a little bit. We'll be back with the next one.
Yes, sir. Till next week, y'all. Peace.